In honor of The Mandalorian Season 3 coming out, I decided to take upon myself the tumultuous task of ranking every piece of Star Wars media, excluding Star Wars Resistance, because I haven't seen it yet. But let's get right into it. Number 18 at the bottom of the list, Rise of Skywalker. I don't have to really explain this. A terrible ending to a really flawed trilogy. Uh, Really terrible ending to a 9 movie saga. I was really disappointed in this one. Felt like just some glorified video game. I was not into it. I'm tired of anyone pretending that this is good at all. Fennec Shand is cool. Boba Fett has a meaningless character arc. Cad Bane is cool. The Mandalorian proves once again that he is just superior to Boba Fett in every way by literally stealing his own show from him. Trash show. I'll never watch it again. I'm really sorry to put this slow, but literally, this bores me. I cannot watch this show because it is so boring. It is just a worse version of Clone Wars. The animation looks beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful show. But holy crap, do I just not care about any of the characters. It's only good off of cameos, and I really don't care about all the cameos. I like Captain Rex and Cad Bane and all that crap, but I was just not into it. The first season was alright, but the second season, I have just stopped watching. I'll pick it back up, but I just don't care. The coolest clone here is Crosshair, and they never even put him in here. He's the only one with an actual arc. This is a movie that has grown on me throughout the years. I will admit it. There are so many concepts here that were so cool if they were actually followed through on. But this whole trilogy, the entire sequel trilogy, just suffers from an enormous lack of planning and preparedness. And it really shows in this movie where like 5 different concepts are introduced and none of them are expanded on. This actually makes the Rise of Skywalker even worse. But still, the whole Canto Bight sequence, nonsense. I didn't really agree with too many things, but this is definitely one of the most beautiful Star Wars movies. Now we're getting on to the better side of things. Now, while the dialogue in this movie, especially between Padme and Anakin, is rambunctiously bad, the other stuff is not so bad at all. The world building is fantastic. A lot of the concepts introduced here are insane. The space fights are insane. The final battle is super sick. But the dialogue really tanks this movie. It is definitely the worst of the prequels, in my opinion. And number 13, starting off with this killer. This, honestly, stacked cast. I freaking loved this movie. Unfortunately, it was kind of forgettable. The plot wasn't there for me. But the reveal of Maul at the end, Emilia Clarke, Woody Harrelson, Donald Glover, this movie had a stacked cast. I wish they did more with it. I wish they did more with this whole cast of characters. So here I have Force Awakens. Now, this gets some bias points because if I was ranking this off of like experiences in the movie theater, this would be like top 3 probably. I remember packed theater. Everyone had costumes on. It was crazy. The movie itself is let's be real. It's a ripoff of New Hope, but I don't think it's that bad. It does set up for another movie, but obviously we all know how that turned out. And I think there was some real potential here. I mean, with Kylo Ren and the death of Han Solo, like this was crazy. This was crazy talk. This was revolutionary in its time, but unfortunately, it's not that good. Now we're getting to the meat and bones here. I think the dialogue here is much better than Attack of the Clones because literally Liam Neeson carries this entire movie. Qui-Gon is a badass. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. The little kid Anakin, I don't really care about him. But obviously, Duel of the Fates, pod racing, like that's just these whole great revolutionary sequences. The battle at the end, Duel of the Fates again, Liam Neeson again, and he dies. It's so sad. Now we have the Kenobi show. So this was a massive failure to me. It's still high on the list, but it's like the best of the mediocre for sure. There are some really great moments here, in this show, but especially episode 5, fantastic. But man, holy crap, what a bunch of filler. This should have been a movie. If they had made this a movie, I would have praised it till the end of days and cut out all the nonsense. Reva, I did not care about. Vader was awesome. Leia was annoying, but it's whatever. Now we're at the juicy part. This is the good stuff. This is the really good stuff. Obviously, OG Star Wars. I mean, it's the perfect story. It is the perfect fantasy sci-fi story. There's nothing much to say about it. Original, New Hope. Like, this is it. This was the one. Now we have Star Wars Rebels. Now, this is crazy. This is really good stuff. I mean, I was so blown away. I did not expect... This show surpassed my expectations. I mean, my 45-year-old dad eats this up. He loves this show. Definitely second best animated Star Wars show, for sure. We're in the top 7 now, starting off with something pretty controversial. So I know this is a lot of people's favorites, and definitely a lot of people's original trilogy favorites, but I gotta admit, it's the Ewoks. It's the Ewoks and the whole starting scene, like the whole beginning scene of the movie, that make this one a little slower for me. I do think it's still better than A New Hope. I think it really solidifies Star Wars as a great universe, has a lot of great ideas. But unfortunately, it has some detractors, so it's not within the top 5. I'm sorry, there are better things than it. I was grappling whether to put Rogue One above Return of the Jedi, but I kind of had to. This is a stunning movie. It looks great. All the characters are great except for the blind guy, which I don't really care about him, and the guy with the big gun, who's the friend of the blind guy. I didn't really care about him. But otherwise, Saw Gerrera, Cassian, my favorite. Jin is great. Even the pilot is great. I mean, this is this random no-name Imperial pilot, and he's awesome. I mean, the rebels are cool. Mon Mothma's cool. Everything about this movie is just so cool, and it's done beautifully. This is the most beautiful Star Wars movie, except for maybe The Last Jedi. Incredible. Hitting the top 5 running, we got the OG, The Mandalorian. Now, there are some... The only thing that prevents this from being the best live-action Star Wars show is the pieces of filler, the little side quests that he goes on to artificially drag out the story. I understand why they do it, but God, I wish we could have a much more clean and concise narrative with The Mandalorian. I feel like that would make the experience of watching him completely destroy people so much cooler. And I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. In the face of God and the devil, Baby Yoda is overrated. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, everybody's talked about this forever. There's not much to add into what everybody else has already said. I mean, this is Revenge of the Sith. This is it. Like, this is the quintessential, like, early 2000s Star Wars vibe. Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting. This changes you as a Star Wars fan. Literally, once you watch this movie, you understand what Star Wars can be. I'm just going to keep talking about this until my time runs out. I'll make a part 4 for my top 3. But this, I will admit it's a little overrated, but God, it deserves all the love it gets. I love this. Alright, here we go. Top 3, not J-Suits, top 3 Star Wars media. Now, I know what you're seeing on the screen right now. You're probably thinking, what the hell is he thinking? Well, just listen to me talk, listen to me ramble a little bit, and I'll lay it down on you. So, Empire Strikes Back is far and away the best Star Wars movie. Let's not kid ourselves. I know the young ones, they parade on about Revenge of the Sith. I'm going to say it's overrated. Revenge of the Sith has gotten too much meat writing over the years, and it's made the young fans, a little insistent on its greatness. No, let's not forget the OG. This is the best Star Wars movie. The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, you got the reveal. The reveal of all reveals. No, I am your father is the best reveal of all time. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Number 3. Hear me out. I had to hold myself back from putting this at number one. But out of respect for my number one choice, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it pass. This is the best live action Star Wars anything. I have to physically fight the urge to put it at number one Star Wars media of all time, and it just came out. I mean, this has spoiled me. I mean, watching the new seasons of The Mandalorian, watching the old episodes of The Mandalorian, I'm spoiled on the acting that this show delivered, on the tension, on the drama. This is a good show put in Star Wars. All other Star Wars shows pale in comparison. They don't have this level of acting, of thoughtfulness, of set production, of filmography, of literally everything. This show delivers on everything, and it spoils me. It is incredible. I can't describe it. Just watch the entire thing, beginning to end, and you will understand my passion and my vitriol for this. But I couldn't bring myself to put it over Clone Wars. I mean, this is once I rewatch Clone Wars, I might have a more educated opinion. I know there are some slow Clone Wars arcs, especially in the beginning. If you guys remember, like the Blue Shadow virus, I remember I turned that shit off as a kid. I was bored out of my mind. I almost dropped the whole show because of it. Thank God I didn't. The ending to this show is perfection. I mean, beautiful music, beautiful everything. This is the show. Like, this is the Star Wars show. All Star Wars media should bow to this, except maybe Andor. We'll see when Andor Season 2 comes out. Then I'll be meat writing it to completion. But all in all, yeah, that's it. Clone Wars, number one.